Why do you feel like you are running on a hamster wheel, sweating, exhausted, but getting absolutely nowhere? You have a to-do list that is a mile long, and the guilt of what you haven't done is heavier than the work itself. What if I told you the problem isn't the work, but the order in which you do it? Listen to me closely. Most people live their entire lives busy, but broke. Busy, but unfulfilled. I used to be exactly like that. I was drowning in tasks, putting out fires, and never building the fire station. Then I stumbled upon a concept from the legendary Brian Tracy that didn't just save my career, it saved my sanity. It's called eating the frog. By the end of this video, you are going to learn exactly how to stop procrastinating and get more done in the next 30 days than you did in the last 12 months. This isn't just time management. This is life management. Let's dive in. Let's start with the ugly truth. Mark Twain once said that if the first thing you do each morning is to eat a live frog, you can go through the day with the satisfaction of knowing that that is probably the worst thing that is going to happen to you all day long. Your frog is your biggest, most important task. It's the one you are most likely to procrastinate on if you don't do something about it. It is also the one task that can have the greatest positive impact on your life and your results at the moment. Here is the reality. You are never going to get caught up. You will never get on top of your tasks. The books, the magazines, the emails, the projects, they will never end. The only way to get control of your life is to stop doing some things and start spending more time on the few activities that can really make a difference. Brian Tracy says the key to success is action. But not just any action. Targeted action. I remember when I was starting out. My desk was a disaster zone. I had sticky notes everywhere. I was answering emails at 7 a.m. and still answering them at 11 p.m. I felt productive because I was moving fast, but I wasn't going anywhere. I was avoiding the frog, the sales calls I needed to make, the strategic planning I needed to do. I was doing the easy, tap-all tasks because they felt safe. And my bank account reflected that safety. It was stagnant. Rule number 1 involves clarity. Clarity is the most important concept in personal productivity. The number 1 reason why some people get more work done faster is because they are absolutely clear about their goals and objectives. You need to write it down. Brian often says, think on paper. Only about 3% of adults have clear, written goals. These people accomplish 5 and 10 times as much as people of equal or better education and ability but who, for whatever reason, have never taken the time to write out exactly what they want. Have you written down your goals for this year? If I walked into your room right now and asked to see your list, could you show me? Or is it all just floating in your head, mixed up with your grocery list and your anxiety? Rule number 2 is plan every day in advance. This is the 6P formula. Proper prior planning prevents poor performance. When I started planning my day the night before, my life changed overnight. Literally. I would sit down at 9 p.m., look at my messy list, and organize it. When I woke up the next morning, I didn't have to think. I didn't have to waste energy deciding what to do. I just executed. Brian Tracy teaches that every minute spent in planning saves you as many as 10 minutes in execution. It takes only about 10 to 12 minutes for you to plan out your day, but this small investment of time will save you at least 2 hours in wasted time and diffused effort throughout the day. Imagine having an extra 2 hours every single day. What would you do with that time? Rule number 3 is apply the 80-20 rule to everything. The Pareto principle. We've all heard it, but do you live by it? 20% of your activities will account for 80% of your results. This means if you have a list of 10 items to do, 2 of those items will turn out to be worth as much or more than the other 8 items put together. But here is the tragic part. Most people procrastinate on the top 10 or 20% of items that are the most valuable and important, the vital few, and busy themselves instead with the least important 80%, the trivial many, which contribute very little to results. I see this all the time. People spending hours designing a logo for a business that hasn't made a single sale. People spending days organizing their email folders instead of making the phone calls that bring in revenue. That is creative avoidance. You are hiding from success. You are hiding from the frog. Rule number 4 is consider the consequences. The mark of the superior thinker is his or her ability to accurately predict the consequences of doing or not doing something. The potential consequences of any task or activity are the key determinants of how important it is to you and to your company. If you don't do this task today, what happens in a month? If the answer is nothing much, then that task is a tadpole. Throw it back. But if the answer is I lose the client or I don't get the promotion, that is a giant, ugly bullfrog. And you need to eat it. Immediately. Successful people have a future orientation. They think 5, 10, 20 years out into the future. They analyze their choices and behaviors in the present to make sure that they are consistent with the long-term future that they desire. Rule number 5 is the ABCDE method. This is the ultimate prioritization technique. I use this every single day. You take your list and you place a letter next to each item. A items are must-dos. These are the frogs. If you have more than one A task, you label them A1, A2, A3. And A1 is the biggest, ugliest frog of them all. B items are should-dos. These are the tadpoles. Consequences are mild. C items are nice to do. No consequences. Checking social media. Chatting with a coworker. D items are delegate. Get someone else to do it so you can focus on the A tasks. E items are eliminate. Just stop doing them. The rule is simple. Never do a B task when there is an A task left undone. Never do a C task when there is a B task left undone. It takes discipline. It takes grit. But this is how you separate the dreamers from the achievers. Rule number 6 is focus on key result areas. Why are you on the payroll? Seriously, ask yourself that. What were you hired to do? Or if you run a business, what activity actually brings in the money? Brian Tracy identifies that every job can be broken down into about 5 to 7 key result areas. These are the results that you absolutely, positively have to get to do your job and make your contribution. For a salesperson, it's prospecting and closing. It's not organizing the desk. For a writer, it's writing. It's not researching endlessly. When I realized my key result area was creating content, I stopped spending 4 hours a day answering comments. I hired someone else to do that. I focused on the creation. And the channel exploded. You need to identify your weakest key result area, because your weakest skill sets the height at which you can use all your other skills. Rule number 7 is take it one oil barrel at a time. There is an old saying, by the yard it's hard, but inch by inch, anything's a cinch. Sometimes the frog looks too big. It looks impossible. You stare at the project and you freeze. This is why you procrastinate. You need to slice and dice the task. Brian tells the story of crossing the Sahara Desert. You can't see the end. But you can see the next oil barrel marker. You just need to get to the next barrel. Don't think about writing the whole book. Think about writing 1 page. Don't think about losing 50 pounds. Think about going to the gym today. 1 barrel at a time. Rule number 8 is put the pressure on yourself. Only about 2% of people can work entirely without supervision. We call these people leaders. The world is full of people waiting for someone to come along and motivate them to be the kind of people they wish they could be. The problem is that no one is coming to the rescue. No one is coming. You have to be your own taskmaster. Set deadlines for yourself that are tighter than the actual deadlines. Create a false sense of urgency. When you treat every day like it's the day before you leave for a month-long vacation, you will be amazed at how efficient you become. Rule number 9 is single-handle every task. This is the big one. Once you start a task, keep working on it until it is 100% complete. Single-handling requires that once you begin, you keep at it, without diversion or distraction, until the job is 100% finished. Every time you stop and start a task, you break your momentum. You have to warm up again. You lose time. You lose focus. It has been estimated that the tendency to start and stop a task can increase the time necessary to complete it by as much as 500%. 500%. You are wasting your life switching tabs. You are wasting your potential checking your phone every 14 minutes. Close the door. Turn off the notifications. Put the phone in another room. And eat that frog until it is gone. Let's recap quickly because I want you to go and actually do this. Here is your battle plan. 1. Decide exactly what you want. Clarity is power. 2. Plan every day in advance. Think on paper. 3. Apply the 80-20 rule. Focus on the vital few, ignore the trivial many. 4. Use the ABCDE method daily. Never do a B task when an A task is waiting. 5. Slice the task. Take it one step at a time if the frog is too big. 6. Single-handle the task. Don't stop until it's done. Listen, knowledge without execution is just entertainment. You can watch 100 videos like this, but if you close this tab and go back to scrolling social media or doing busy work that doesn't matter, nothing will change. Your life will be exactly the same next year as it is today. And that should scare you. The frog is there. It's staring at you. It's ugly. It's intimidating. But eating it is the only path to the life you say you want. If this video gave you the push you needed, smash the like button right now. It tells the algorithm that we are building an army of high achievers here. Subscribe and turn on the bell. Tomorrow I'm going to show you the psychological trick to double your income in 6 months. You don't want to miss that. Go eat that frog.